So in Oklahoma, the deep freeze is fixing to be on. It's right now. It's Sunday, the last free day that I have to do some actual stuff around the house. And on Thursday, they're predicting a huge cold front to come in, 70-mile-an-hour wind, minus 20-degree wind chill factor. So that sounds like a whole bunch of fun. So I had to get the backyard prepared for those type of temperatures. It's a little bit bigger job than just, turning up the heater in the house for me. Everything in the backyard kind of revolves around the pool and the barn. The pool doesn't shut down. And we've had some really cold temperatures, and it's never been a problem at all. When it starts getting really cold, the pumps come on automatically, stay on to circulate the water. I've never had any big major freezing issues. But in order for that to all work right, you have to make sure that the water is flowing really well in the pool. The water can circulate good. And the main thing that keeps that from happening, at least in my backyard, is leaves. The leaves get into the returns, stop those all up, stop the pump basket up. And while it still flows a little bit, it's just not flowing as good as it could. So we need to make sure that your pool has plenty of good circulation and is able to circulate the water like it needs to. Make sure all the valves are open, make sure all the returns are clear, make sure all the baskets are clean. And like I say, the main thing that keeps that from happening is leaves. And we have several big old trees around here that have dumped leaves all fall long, and just recently, up in the last week, we're still full of leaves, and finally they dumped them all. So yesterday was complete leaf blowing, leaf removal day for the backyard. And that took me about 4 or 5 hours just to get all that done. I mean, there's just tons and tons and mounds of leaves I had to blow. And then what I do with them is I put a mulching blade on my lawnmower and just mulch them up. So yesterday was a complete day dedicated mainly to leaves. So the leaves won't blow in the pool, and it won't stop the pool up, and I won't have to come out here when it's minus 20 degrees wind chill factor and clean out the returns. But there's still some more things to do. What we have to do is we have to turn off the water to the barn. We have to put antifreeze in the sink and the commode. We have to turn off the water to the barn, make sure the hot water heater's completely empty. Basically drain all the water so no pipes freeze out here in the barn when it's super cold. And then we also need to prepare the pool for the freezing temperatures, which basically just means put some antifreeze in a water bottle and put it in the returns so they won't freeze up. So they're always, like I say, the most important thing when it's cold outside is to make sure that the water is circulating well and nothing freezes up, nothing stops it up. So that's what we're going to be doing today, getting everything ready for wintertime, which is fastly approaching. Okay, what we got to do is shut off this water. There's a valve in here. Okay. There's a valve in here to shut off the water. Make sure it's shut off. Valve in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. We got to go back in here and drain all the water out of the barn. Put a little hose on this faucet out here, which is, I don't understand why it's so low to the ground, but that's where the builder put it. It's a complete pain in the ass to get anything on. But anyway, so what we're going to do is go inside the barn, turn on all the faucets so some air can get into the system. Then it'll push up all the water that's in the barn into this faucet because it's the lowest in the chain. is turn on the faucets. Got a little shower in here that's never been used, not one time. Oh, I'll take that back. I did use it when COVID was going around. I would come home from work and take a shower before I went inside. Some of the things we did back in COVID days, a little bit weird. Okay, so all the water is run out of the faucet now, and all we have to do is go back over to the valve and flip the last valve on there. And what that'll do is that'll let all the water drain that's in a pipe that goes underneath the barn and the slab out here. So there'll be absolutely no water going from the valve over there to the barn. It'll all be drained out, and that's what we want. We make sure that we keep the pipes, no chance of anything freezing up in the barn. Okay, like I say, all we gotta do is flip this back valve. It's gonna drain all the water from the pipes leading up to the barn into this little tube here. This thing's gonna fill up full of water. It's gonna be pretty nasty, but that's what has to be done to make sure everything's safe. So there's the right way to put that on. Who knew? Guess I've been getting lucky all these years. So now we have to winterize the toilet and the sinks. And that might sound pretty complicated, but it's not that hard. What we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of this RV and marine antifreeze. Pour some in the sink. That just protects the P-trap. We'll pour some in the toilet. Pour a good amount in the toilet. We're going to force some water down into the trap of the toilet. That's all we're doing there, is making sure there's antifreeze in the toilet. Wherever there's water, there's going to be antifreeze. So put a good amount in there, force some down into the trap in the toilet there, and we're good. Go and open the back up, pour some in the back. I don't know how much necessarily. I just put in there until it looks like enough. Basically until it's pink. Toilet's good. Go over to the shower. Put a little bit in the shower drain. Got a little bit in there in case COVID ever breaks back out. Now we're going to fill up these bottles here. We're going to put these in the pool returns. That's good enough right there, about halfway. If your returns start to freeze up, the ice comes in and it can't squish this water bottle, and it keeps it flowing, the water flowing, no matter how cold it gets. That's why we put antifreeze in there. And you just want to make sure the lids are on there nice and secure, because you don't want this lids coming off for any reason. And we're just going to throw these in the returns of the pool. Alright, nothing fancy here. Let's take the returns off, chunk them in there. They'll bob around a little bit. We're done with that. We're going to take some of that antifreeze and we're going to put in, let's see if I can point out here. These are umbrella holders that you fill the water. By far the best kind to use. They just hold a lot better in the wind. But they're full of water, so I'm going to put antifreeze in them so they don't freeze up and crack. So that little one, it already had a nice little ice build up inside, but as you probably know, when water freezes, it expands. So if it was a free solid, it would just bust that plastic wide open. Had to throw it away. Just put a little bit of antifreeze in there. You're good to go. I'm gonna put this little bit of antifreeze I have left. I'll just put it in the toilet or something, so I don't have to keep this little bit for next year. But everything seems to be, I think I have everything right where it needs to be as far as the winterization goes. I need to do just a little bit more leaf removal. Other than that, we're in pretty good shape. Just to kind of show you what we got going on out here. So, I'm back over in here in the very back is a blackjack tree. And it's the first to shed its leaves normally. And then we come here to this massive elm tree, which I freaking hate. And it drops second. And that's the majority of the leaves. And then we have this little bitty oak here. It's getting bigger, but it's the third to last to drop its leaves. And then this tree over here, I'm not sure, right here, I'm not sure what kind of tree that is, but it's generally the very last to drop its leaves. And they're pretty much gone, so I'm got all the leaves cleaned up. Now over here on this side, we have a willow tree, and that thing's a complete pain in the butt too. And it's just about to have all its leaves dropped off, and they don't create a huge problem unless the wind's blowing strong out of the south. The wind's blowing out of the south, it blows into the pool. Other than that, if it's blowing hard out of the north like it's supposed to, it's not going to make that much of a difference. And then we have all these pine trees up here, massive pine trees, and they don't cause much of a problem. We do get some needles in the pool from time to time, but not very many. But unfortunately, every one of these pine trees has gotten a beetle, bark beetle, boar beetle or something. I don't know what they call it, something like that. And every one going to have to be cut down, I'm sure, sometime coming up. And that's $500 to $800 a pop. And there's about 30 pine trees here, and they're all 40 to 50 feet tall. So that's not a job that I can do, obviously. And it's going to be sad to see them go, but that's the way it's going to happen. Okay, just for a little recap. Big storm coming in later this week. Got all the leaves blown up, picked up, whatever. I'm not going to have a bunch of leaves blown in the pool. I got all the leaves that were in the pool out of the pool. And I got the returns nice and clear. Also raised the level of the pool up higher than I normally would have it, just to make sure that all the water is going to run good at all times. I got the barn winterized. I got all the water lines drained and have put antifreeze in all the drains and the toilets, just to make sure I have no freezing problems in the barn. Also taken that antifreeze, put it into a plastic bottle, water bottle, and put those in the returns. So when it gets cold, it's not going to ice over the returns. Going to make sure we have good water flow. Also put antifreeze in the umbrella holders. Make sure that they don't freeze up when it gets cold. Make sure that I took all the water hoses and hooked them from the house. So just to make sure that I don't have any kind of water freeze up, busted line situation. So that's about it. I guess I'm done. Nothing left to do, just to build a big old fire and wait for the cold weather to come in. Well, Oklahoma weather, it don't play. This year we set the record for most days over 100 degrees. That was earlier this summer. And then 2 months later, after that happened, we're going to turn around and get to negative 20 something wind chill factor. So, and Oklahoma weather does not play. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Stay warm. out there. It's going to be cold.